Hello, my name is Ular, and welcome to my video guide on how to kill the worm in Chapter 4 without the use of the stun needle gun. Hopefully by the end of this video you'll have a better understanding of how to tackle this boss, the best places to attack, some general knowledge that might be useful to help you in your attempts of this boss if you're interested. Otherwise, let's get right into it. Alrighty, so the first thing worthy of notice is that this little animation that he does right at the beginning of the fight is always consistent. Now, depending on your setup, you might have more or less chances to hit him depending on what you've got, but there is always a chance to hit him right here with my setup. I'm using the Scudder Assault Rifle, a Zimmerman Shotgun, a 6-count rocket launcher, and the Laser Sword. If you're a bit braver, you can actually get a little bit further left during this animation and actually get another few pot shots to his face. But it is really dangerous, and when you're dealing with a boss that can one-shot you with lower levels of AP, I wouldn't recommend it. If you've noticed the time of this video, this is going to be a long one. So, this is one of our favorite moves to see, just a high rise that gives us a clear shot of his face. There's always time to shoot him. This is also another move that we really want to see, the slide where he just pulls his body across the floor. He stays in the animation for an extremely long time, so if you're on the backside of him when he does this, you will have an infinite amount of time to just lay into his head. It's that long. But you can still get a few pot shots into him at the beginning or when he's passing over. And this move right here is the best move you want to see, because it gives us a clear opportunity to hit him with our sword and easily break down that shield. So for anybody who's having trouble dodging that move, here's how you do it. Now, for reference, the AC I'm currently running has a base boost speed of 340. And with that level of speed, what you need to do is, when he first pops up, you're going to need to make a judgment call. Are you too close? If the answer is too close, you're better off just dashing away, because it is very easy for him to hit you at that range. But if you're about mid-range away from him, I'd say about maybe the entire length of the sword animation, when he dashes forward, about that distance, you can instead dash back once and just hold back on the stick. If you're a little bit further away than mid-distance, you could just hold back on the stick and still avoid that. Now, when you transition phases, the worm will produce some of these drones. It is worth your time to kill them because if you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a radar. That radar has all the red pips of every enemy on the field, and the way you can always tell where the worm is at any given point and not dash around like a madman is that red pip will always be there. Doesn't matter where. He'll always be right in front of you. And the same goes for whenever you break his shield and Rusty's about to shoot at him, you will always know that he will face you whenever he pops up. This is always consistent. It's only when you're fighting him generally and when you have allies that isn't consistent. Now, a tip for the red missiles. With the boost speed I have, I can just literally do a circle, a semicircle around them and avoid them completely. The way you do that consistently is you hold left or right depending on what direction you're going, and then you just slowly curve your stick inward and you will dodge the missiles completely. The same goes for those little tail missiles that like to jump in the snow and then jump out at you. If you do the same thing, you can dodge them pretty consistently. Although, with the tail missiles, the ones that jump in the snow, those are sometimes the most bullshit part of this fight, because it's not consistent at what height they will decide to just blow up, or what direction they're going. They can come from all directions. That's easily the worst part of it. Once again, our favorite move. I was far enough away for this time that I did not need to dash at all. I just pulled back on the stick. Now, it is very important that you're not further than where I was at that point, because if the animation takes too long, you can get nicked when you're trying to recover. So, practice makes perfect. This is the only move that we do not care about. You cannot hit him from there. My setup doesn't include missiles that shoot overhead, and I don't think I would have enough time to lock onto them and for them to travel the distance, so it's better off to just not even bother, although I do reflexively shoot whenever he pops up, because certain moves really reward you for pre-firing. Like that one right there, if I had been a little bit quicker on the draw, I could have gotten some extra hits.
Watch out for friendly fire. Secondary shield down. It's all yours now, buddy. Wait, something's wrong. Fall back 6-2.
So now we're in phase 3, and the worm now has red electricity, which makes the strategies I've shown you still consistent. You just need to be in a little bit different of places. More specifically, for every attack that he does from now on, you're going to want to be in the air. There's our buddy. I don't know which one that is. Could be a Guazu, could be a snail. This fight is completely doable, flawless. I sadly just do not have the skill at this moment to do that, because I got a D rank on this mission when all was said and done. I was hoping it'd be one of those missions where you could just still get an S even with using health kits, but with the amount of bullets that find their way on the screen, it's really difficult to do this without using one. But it is possible, I'm no doubt about that. I guess now's as good a time as any to mention this. Whenever you are doing this mission, you'll probably see me swing my camera around looking for the 2 oil refineries. You do not want to be anywhere near those things, because I cannot tell you how many times during the entirety of this mission where despite how open this level is, how many times I have gotten insta-gib because I ran out of space to backpedal. Either by hitting these oil refineries, as you'll see here in a little bit, or by hitting the red wall. The red wall boundaries are closer than you would think. And I was super scared when I did this. I saw myself move forward and like, oh god dang it, I forgot to switch to my shotgun. Yes, but this attack that we don't care about, the blind spot for that attack is around in the center of wherever he shoots from. Or you could just be far enough away from it where it won't hit you. And that one is the same. You can be up in the air, or you could be far enough away from it where it will not hit you. Yeah. When you're engaging with the worm with his electricity, being in the air is the safest place you want to be. You don't want to stay up there for too long. Ah, that was a clusterfuck. I hated this section. Like, this was probably the closest I had ever gotten to this part with this many health kits. So I was feeling really nervous when I was recording this. Now, there is exactly one move he did not do during the entirety of this run, and that is he will coil up sort of like in a serpent motion and stick his head up in the air, and he'll do an AoE blast. The only way to dodge that is to just be far enough away from it. If you see him start to do that, you just need to boost away, as far back away as you can get. Now there's definitely better ways of doing this mission. There's already a guide about it by somebody who used the charged rifles, where you can just shoot him from long distance whenever you get a shot off. But I wanted to challenge myself with this mission. I wanted to do it with my perfect setup. And for anybody who's curious about the full specs of the AC, I intend to make a video a little bit later on going into detail about this build. So don't you worry for anybody who's curious, but if you do want it regardless before then, I'll leave the share code in the description. It's for PC only, so do with that what you will. Now this is the first instance of the double slap just straight up stopping. Finding the correct distance to engage with this target is what makes that move so dangerous. High risk, high reward, because if you're too far away, he'll just not do it and we won't get the sword punish. Now speaking of the sword punish, at that range with the electricity around him, you are going to take some chip damage. It's not much, but it is still substantial. So bear that in mind if you're interested in replicating my strategy. Double slap. Want to be in the air. But the sword puts us back on the ground, so there ain't a whole lot I can do about that. We're down to no health kits. But yeah, that's about all the tips I have to give to you for this fight. So, I'll be staying quiet for the rest of the video. You won't have to deal with me anymore. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.